Welcome to ThinkTech, raising public awareness about technology, energy, globalism, and diversification. As part of the ThinkTech series, this is the Arts in Hawaii. I'm your host, Donna Blanchard. I'm also the Managing Director of Kumukuhui Theater, and I am here today talking with Michelle Poppler of Fringe Festival, among other things that we're gonna talk about in a moment. We broadcast live on the internet at 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock every weekday. All of our shows are streamed live on ustream.tv and Spreaker.com. And if you want links to our upcoming shows or our archives, just go to thinktechhawaii.com. And if you want to join us in our downtown studio, email jfidel at j@thinktechhawaii.com. Michelle, thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Michelle is a dancer, a graphic designer, an animator, a multimedia artist, a fusion artist, as I like to call it. And we're going to get into all of that, how all of this evolved, but let's start off by saying you're going to be a part of the Fringe Festival, which is November 7th through the 10th.
Yes.
Do you know what day you're performing?
We're either going to be performing on the Friday or Saturday. Our date isn't set yet, so we are still waiting to find out the exact schedule of the festival. But that will be on the Fringe Festival website.
OahuFringe.com.
Yeah, on OahuFringe.com. And also it will be on our Noe Hawaii Facebook page. So it's facebook.com// NOEHawaii.com.
NOEHawaii.com.
Oh, yeah, not no.com. Sorry.
and there's a Facebook for Oahu Fringe.
Yeah.
Also. So tell me a little bit about the show that you are going to present.
Well, I am working in collaboration with several different dancers. As my production company, I call Mishi Moody Productions. And working with the Noe Hawaii Aerial Ensemble. So it's directed by Chandra Myers and myself. And we're entitling the show From the Heart. Our goal is to create a dance show from our hearts. We love dance and we want to create a healing dance multimedia experience for our audience.
A healing, and how is that going to heal me?
Well, we want to bring a little bit of bliss and joy through our performance. And as a performer, I feel that whenever I have a sort of, I call it an energetic exchange after performing, and the audience leaves smiling and happy and feeling like they've made really good use of their time, and that they were so happy that they've been there that they think other people should have just seen it, you know, like, oh, you just had to have been there. That kind of experience as a performer is a kind of thing that I think, in a way, is a healing experience because it brings joy. And joy is healing.
I agree. I didn't mean to make you feel like I was putting you on your spot.
That's kind of my theory of it anyway.
Yeah. That's an excellent way to put it. And a lot of us who are artists spend a lot of time justifying what we do, particularly if you're involved in administration at all. You're looking for funds, you're working on a Kickstarter program. Why should you do this? It's a good explanation.
Yeah, anything that tells a story of transformation and change, that's why we do this.
That's what you do, why you do this. And when you say you dance from the heart, do you mean that what you do is improvised?
Yes, so a lot of the work in this particular piece will be structured improv, loosely based off of, we'll have our entrances and exits set, but we're going to have live musicians, live video projections of both animation and film to kind of give the dancers something to work with so that they can have some imagery or something that they could pull from and explore with. But there will be some changes that will happen from rehearsal to rehearsal, and it might build and change. There are going to be a few pieces that will be set choreography, though.
Okay. So how many times will the dancers be working with the rest of the media that's going on?
Well, pretty much right now, our only plan is to have set choreography for the beginning and the end. The rest of it is going to be like,
But they know the music.
Yeah.
They know what's going to be behind them while they're doing it. That's awesome, and it's kind of frightening.
Yeah, well, I am fully confident in the performers that we have available to us. We have some performers who have been working with an improv troupe, dance troupe, so they've been training to do this sort of work. We have dancers who have worked with the Iona Contemporary Dance Theater, who are very well trained in the art of Butoh, including myself. So I have faith that we will find some interesting dynamics in our performance.
So let's talk about Butoh. What can you tell me about Butoh? I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I would describe it except to say that there is a lot of emphasis on minute movement.
Yes.
How does that work?
Butoh originated in Japan after World War II as this sort of movement that was kind of anti-Martha Graham, you're gonna dance like this dancer because this is their style of dance and they're teaching you their choreography. This movement almost came out of a dark place of exploration of sexual identity, war, all of these things. And they used kabuki makeup to make themselves white, and they do a movement that's based off of following. So the dancers will get into a group. You can Google Butoh and see lots of great work. You can also see some weird work too that you'd be like, what are they doing? But it's really mystical, because what usually happens in a Butoh class is that you will meditate for 20 minutes at the very least, and then you will start from a place of stillness, and then the music will come on, and then you just dance. But when you get into this trance state where you've just been sitting there just trying to be still for so long, you end up almost watching yourself from outside your body. Actually, you do watch yourself from outside of your body in your mind's eye, and you move yourself like a puppet. And it's using the imagination to its utmost strength in this work. And I've been studying it with Cheryl Flahardy of the Iona Contemporary Dance Theater for the last 8 years, and there are many schools of Butoh. Cheryl Flahardy's method is she calls soul body movement, and she kind of likens it to moving from your soul body and not your physical body. Mm-hmm. And that's her interpretation of Butoh. And that's kind of what I've been kind of taking into my own work, since she is my mentor and has been teaching me that style.
I've been a part of work as an actor in which we started with meditation, and then movement dictated the vocal work that we were doing. And it's amazing what you can do. You can improvise in iambic pentameter, and you can create rhythmic movement pieces is part in improv that look like they're very well rehearsed. I've seen that sort of thing happen, but as having, I had to take, because I got a BFA, I had to take some dance classes. But what you were talking about is, I think, far out for not only myself, but I'm sure everybody, a lot of other people.
Oh yeah, it's totally far out. It kind of really boomed and started in the 1960s, which was a very far out sort of time. But Cheryl told us this about Butoh, her method of this soul body movement. But another larger thing about Butoh is that the dance is always going to be your individual dance. It doesn't really cater to anything. So even though I am influenced by the style of my mentor, I will eventually have my own form.
You have to.
And everybody does, yeah. And like you were saying, the exercises with acting, Butoh, there's all sorts of schools that will have facial expressions, noises. It's kind of runs the whole gambit.
I've seen a Butoh performance, and I cannot remember the fellow's name. It was part of a Dark Night performance at Kumukuhua Theater, and I'm really embarrassed I can't remember his name.
Oh, yeah.
He and his wife.
Yeah.
Very tall, slender fellow. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember the show, but I didn't get to it.
So sorry. It was really good, but I watched it, and afterwards, I felt like it was a good use of my time. Mm-hmm. But I also kind of wondered what just happened.
Yeah.
What was that? That was interesting. And they did also amazing work with the lighting. What is his name? He's also a lighting designer. They did interesting work with the lighting and the sound. They had a stone flute player accompanying them, and the white chalk on their body, or grease paint, left marks on the stage that left almost a piece of art on the stage when they were finished. Very interesting. Okay, so thank you for going through that explanation. Let's talk about the Iona Dance Company. You were part of the company.
Yes.
Also. Okay, so I'm at First Friday one night in Chinatown, and Rose Wolf, who also does some costume design at Kumukuhua.
She also does costume design for Iona as well.
For Iona, and and I think her mom's a costume designer as well. Yes. Very talented.
Yeah, her mom designs costumes for Iona.
Yeah. She hands us a card. She's in makeup and costume I don't recognize. She hands us a card, and it's an internet dance show, an internet theater.
Yes, it's our live e-season. You can go on to the Iona website, iona360.com, and if you log in with register your email address on the website, you can go watch our e-season of the Living Tarot show, which was originally filmed in 2007, and it was such a cool show. It was in a house up on the Poly Highway, old house. They were going to tear it down, and they told Cheryl, just do whatever you want with it. We're going to just tear it down. She's like, She had been interested in doing a show about tarot cards. So that was kind of around the time I started dancing with the company, and I wasn't up to performance level at that point. She said, can you design me some tarot cards for the show? So I designed just some basic tarot cards based off of each performer. So there were 12 installations in all these rooms, and each dancer was a card.
This is the Arts in Hawaii on the ThinkTech Hawaii series. I'm Donna Blanchard of Kumukuhua Theater, and I'm talking with Michelle Poppler. And we're talking about a salon series of dance that done by the Iona Dance Company.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to the Living Tarot, because
the whole gambit of the Living Tarot is up online now. Yeah.
Okay. So you go to the website, you register, and you watch these performances that are happening each in individual rooms of this home. But there's a live audience. It is filmed with a live audience. So these people are coming out for the evening, and how are they how are they experiencing this? I wanted to know. What are those people doing? You know.
Well, basically, how we had it set up was the audience came into the house, and there were tarot card readers who would deal them a deck of these cards that I created for Cheryl. And the photos were by Darren Miller, who's a great photographer. And the dealers would give them a deck, and whatever order they got their cards in was the order that they saw the dance installations. So they would have to go, there would be docents in each room that would usher them in and out of the room and make sure they didn't touch the dancer or anything. And 5 minutes per each performance. So the next 5 minutes, and then they would have 5 minutes to go to the next one.
And there were 10.
Yeah, I don't believe there were 12. I have to remember how many cards there were.
Okay. So you designed the cards themselves based on the dancers and
yeah. So we had
costumes?
a photographer like capture the installations, and then we basically picked the photos out and created the templates. And I've been creating all of the promotional materials for Iona since 2007.
Oh, that card
Yeah.
Rose handed me.
Yeah, well,
First
I
Friday.
think Cheryl does some of them too. She did that
okay.
one, but yeah.
So this didn't really have anything to do with the tarot,
It
did it?
It did. Each installation was based off of a tarot card. So when you went to the Wheel of Fortune, she was the Wheel of Fortune.
Okay. Her dance is based on that.
Mhm.
But, okay.
Yeah.
But it's not like you weren't getting your fortune told through it, or were you?
Your fortune was told by the order that you see the installations.
Ah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
This sort of experiential, just to see that the idea that you go in and you go there with a date and you get separated
Mm-hmm.
because your cards are dealt in different orders and you're experiencing this with a group of people you don't know, and it is saying something to you also.
Yeah.
Right? Whether you believe it or not, it's fun or whatever. There's something more for you to take away, or at least there's another level of conversation to
Mhm.
take away with you. And I think the goal of all art is to inspire great conversation.
Yes.
It's what you take with you when you leave that really matters. And this sort of work gives you a lot. You need a suitcase
Yeah.
to take it all with you.
Yeah, it's been such an inspiration to work with the Iona Contemporary Dance Theater. All of the dancers that I have met in the company have been just phenomenal human beings and talented and inspiring and diverse. We all have our day jobs too, and everyone works really hard, and everyone is involved in the community in some way, shape, or form. They're such givers and just really great people. And the art that is created under Cheryl's direction is just incredible. And it's all based off of this work of Butoh, of digging deeper and finding this movement based off of this character. So basically, she'll give you a character and a prop, and she'll just go, figure it out. And that's when the art happens.
Yeah. So this is going to sound, well, maybe it won't sound weird and esoteric to you. If you were not able to do this kind of movement, if you were not able to express yourself with your body that way, do you think would that affect your health negatively?
Oh, yes. I can't stop. It would make me kind of wither away inside a little bit. I mean, I did go through a period of time where I was danceless, and it was there was something missing. I was working I worked in newspaper pagination for probably about 8 years worked for the Honolulu Weekly and the Star Bulletin.
That's laying out.
Yeah,
the
and it was
elements,
so
right?
great. Like they were such great jobs. I worked with really wonderful people, and got to work at the newspaper during an election year. It's so inspiring, you know, but there was always something missing. It's like, I'd be going to work, what's wrong? I have a great job, I get to go to yoga, I live in Hawaii. There was always, and my husband, he's wonderful. Everything in my life was great, but there was just something missing. And when I got, when the economy took a turn in 2008, 2009, and the Star Bulletin had to lay off a bunch of us junior employees, I was like, well, I guess I don't really have anything left other than the art. So, all right, let's go with this.
So you didn't get a regular day job after that?
No, I went back to school at the Academy for Creative Media at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and I studied under Professor Linda Dorn, animation, and she taught traditional hand-drawn animation, which was this childhood dream of mine, because I just loved watching Bugs Bunny and like Disney and musicals and all that stuff. And I always had this, I was always excited every time I saw a documentary about animators, you know, see them flipping the pages and see the character on the page coming to life, because my mom just put art supplies in front of my sister and I when we were little, and just always wanted to draw and make stuff and move. So animation is kind of the perfect thing for a dancer who is an artist, because it includes movement and art.
Yeah. So the kind of animation you were studying is not computer-aided?
Yeah, no, I tried animating when I was much younger in like Maya and 3D animation programs, and I was having such a hard time. Like, why is this so hard? I thought animation would be fun. This isn't fun at all. And so I gave that up and ended up.
It's a science.
Yeah, because it's a science. So I went into newspaper pagination instead, because I was working at a student newspaper, and I ended up being really excelling at that. So
that's movement.
Yeah, because it was movement and moving things around, and it was instantaneous. You're like, bam, send that off to the printer. Bam, here it is. Hey, I just did something. Look, you can read it. And the paper. So, you know, my first internship actually in 2003 was at the Honolulu Advertiser, and I remember going back into the printing press, which is so sad to me that it's not even there anymore, but in the old Advertiser building where they're filming Hawaii Five-0, and they would send me back there to go get the papers hot off the presses, and the whole machine would go, and it would come out, and they'd like bind it up, and they'd be like, here, big stack of newspaper, and the smell of the ink and the paper, and just picking it up, and like, oh, I just made that page, and now this is going out to everyone's home in the whole state. That's pretty cool. So my love of journalism and newspapers has not gone away.
Yeah. And you do graphic design work, and that is more, you're using a computer, but there's some science involved in it, but it's more immediate.
Yeah, it's more immediate. So I had an animation mentor when I did an internship at the Hawaii Animation Studios in 2010. When I went back to school, he said, oh, you know, like animating in Maya or in a 3D program is kind of like animating with a 12-foot pencil. So you can't actually touch what you're animating. And he's like, once you get over that and get used to it, then you'll excel. I'm like, okay, I see, sensei.
Okay, so that makes it feel more movement-based.
But there's something about the art of hand-drawn animation that when Linda Dorn had first worked with me on learning it, I really excelled at, because something about the tactileness of the paper and the pencil and just being able to flip the pages and see that instantaneous movement of like, oh.
I used to do it in textbooks in school.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you make the flip books. It's like that, only, and then at least a little bigger. Then you just scan in the drawings, and then you use the technology to make the 2D animation. going forward.
Are you putting together the video that's behind the work for the Fringe Festival? Is that
Yes.
you also?
Yes. So I'm going to be working with Hawaii woman in filmmaking, Isis Chen, and Paula Albanese, and my other friend Heidi. We're forming this kind of little animation collective, kind of just meeting every Saturdays. We don't have any financial backing yet, but you know, we love film and we love animation, so we're just starting to play around. So we're just gonna create some fun little imageries and see what happens with that. And that's also going to be another aspect of the show that's going to be free flowing. So it's going to be based off of the music that we picked out, or we're going to have, if we're going to have the improvised musicians, we'll have like a set time. Be like, okay, so for 5 minutes, there's going to be these squiggly stuff and this stuff, and just go.
Are the musicians following the dancer at all, or are the musicians leading? Who's leading?
Well, that's kind of going to be up to the dancer and the musician, and the basically they're just going to have to figure that out for themselves when we get into rehearsal.
But there's going to be rehearsal.
Yeah.
Did you see the terror in my eyes? Someone's got to be leading.
Yeah. No, there's going to be some. Yeah, but actually, at the Doris Duke Theater this last weekend. My friends that work with spatial sculptors, the improv dance troupe, they just did a spontaneous performance. It was called #NoFilter, and they basically had a band drop out. So Brandon, who's been running the Doris Duke music scene, he's like, oh, okay, we gotta fill this. Hey, you guys, a bunch of musicians, and you're a bunch of improv dancers. Go up on the stage and go.
Interesting.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I actually took video. I'm going to be putting it up on YouTube like within the next week because it was so cool. And it was great for me because I had already been thinking about making something like this happen, and it just happened. So I'm like, well, there you go. Now I know it works. So.
And they're performing in the Fringe Festival also.
Yes, the facial sculptors will also be having their own show. So they'll have an hour-long show. I'm not sure what night that they're going to be, but it's going to be really awesome. They're an incredible group of dancers, and I will have a couple of dancers representing Laura
excellent.
and Gwen, and maybe Rose.
So when you excellent. Rose, thumbs up. When you talk about aerial dancers. The aerial dancing is using the silks and moving up and down the silks. And did that start as, I know you can take a yoga class, an aerial yoga class, and there's dance, and there's a great deal of strength involved, and strength building. Do you know the origins of it, what it actually started as?
You know, that's something I definitely need to research on my own, but it's definitely a circus art. That's for sure.
Well, it seems like the first time I saw it was before you were born. I think Mummenschanz did work like that.
Yeah.
Do you know Mummenschanz? You know?
Oh, no, I need to be educated on the aerial history. I just know it's beautiful.
Mummenschanz is a group that in the 70s,
fairly
early 70s, had an hour-long variety show on network TV. Which
okay,
is
everybody go Google that.
Well, and these were mime and they were physical artists of all different ilk. There was
cool.
telling stories with their bodies. I had a professor in college who was one of the had been with the Mummenschanz group for a while, and he could do amazing. He could do amazing things. He could move his body in such a way that it looked as though there were strong wind blowing him up the wall. The physical strength involved in the type of work that they did was awesome, as well as the mental acuity to stand outside of yourself and know when I do this, it looks like that. It affects the audience in this way. You know, and I swear they did some silk work as well. They probably didn't even start it, but So the show that you're going to have for Fringe, how long is it going to last?
And it's going to be 1 hour, and it's going to just be one night. So it's either going to be the Friday or Saturday of the Fringe Festival.
So, and this is off-site.
Yeah,
most of the Fringe Festival is in Chinatown.
In Chinatown. So this is going to be a site-specific work. We're going to be doing it at the Art Zone, which is located up in Nu'uanu. There is no listed address for the place for some seats. So we're probably going to have a bus be shuttling people up and down from Chinatown, hopefully.
It'll help for parking.
Exactly, because and we'll have very detailed instructions for parking and our materials when we send out our press stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're having it there because you're doing the aerial art.
Yes, because we need a place that has 3 aerial points, because we have 2 silk dancers and a lyra, which is the aerial hoop that dancers, they will be performing with all those apparatuses. So we needed multiple apparatuses to make it work as we really wanted to see it.
So this work, the work that you're doing for Fringe Festival and with Iona, are these money-making ventures? Are you supporting yourself with that?
Well, the work I do with Iona, we do get paid a small stipend for theatrical productions, but we mostly get paid the company's bread and butter. We do corporate events, so we'll get hired out to go dance at a fancy dinner party in our costumes, which is fun because we get to perform and then get paid. Cheryl's really good about getting us some real dance gigs. And those are not really usually open to the public. It's like, okay, we have this gig on Maui on the 25th, and it's going to be at the Hyatt, and it's pretty cool because then we can fly off island and be jet setters. I'm going to go dance off island, and I'll be back. We don't make a whole lot of money, but enough for it to be to be an extra amount of income, and it's just really fun and. It's cool to get some income from your art, and that's Cheryl's philosophy. Is like she always wants to, compensate her dancers. And as far as the Fringe Festival, we hope that we'll make a little bit of money to be able to pay the performers. That all depends if people show up to the final show. So we hope that might happen. But we're doing it mostly for the love. Pretty much for the love, because we just have this vision and we just want to make it happen.
Did you perform in last year's festival?
I did with Becky McGravy. She's had a show called Coin Operated Boy and Other Tales, and I was one of the other tales. So I did a solo in her show. She's actually in New York right now, trying to make it big as a dancer.
Oh.
Yeah, she was dancing with Iona as well. She danced with me in the last theatrical production we had called La Madonna, and that was a show all about goddesses.
Fabulous. I have to take a break. Sorry. Yeah. We'll get back to that. We'll be back in just a moment. I'm Donna Blanchard. This is the Arts in Hawaii on ThinkTech Hawaii, and we're talking with Michelle Poppler. We'll be right back.
Hey.
Aloha, I'm Jay Fidel. I want to tell you about our program this month. We're doing a lunch and panel program at the Plaza Club with the Hawaii Venture Capital Association and ThinkTech about China. It's Don't Be Afraid to Send Your Kid or CEO to China. Stories of daring do and of life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness in the People's Republic. We want to introduce you to some people who have lived in China and show you that life in China is not so bad. It's not all about corruption and environmental degradation and lack of civil or human rights. It's not like that. And we want to have them tell you their day-to-day stories about how they've lived there. So our moderator is Larry Foster. He has taught law in China, and he has been practicing law in China for a firm in Shanghai. His wife, Brenda Foster, is on the panel. She has been the president of the American Chamber of Commerce in Shanghai. We have Russell Liu. He's an attorney practicing with Shepard Mullen in Beijing for quite some time. Shackley Ruffetto, a circuit court judge from Maui, who after retiring went to China so he could teach judicial process there. and Nikki Shishido, who has worked for DBED, the Department of Business, Economic Development and Tourism of the state of Hawaii, in Beijing for some time. All these people have had the experience of living on the ground in China. We want to have them tell their stories to you. So maybe this will encourage you to send your kid or CEO to China. So if you're interested in this program, which ought to be very interesting, come down on August 22nd. You can sign up at hvca.org. I'm Jay Fidel. Mahalo. We'll see you there.
Hi, we're back, and this is the Arts in Hawaii on ThinkTech Hawaii. I'm Donna Blanchard of Kumukuhua Theater, and I'm talking with Michelle Poppler about the Fringe Festival, among other things that she does. And let's pick up where we left off. Last year you were part of a, was this a dance?
Yeah, it was called Coin Operated Boy and Other Tales, and I was one of the other tales. I did a burlesque performance, actually, for this Fringe show. It was kind of a variety show, so it was really fun.
We're going to go to some images in just a minute, but since you brought up burlesque, you're a part of the Cherry Blossom Burlesque?
Cherry Blossom Cabaret. We were originally the Cherry Blossom Burlesque, but then we switched it to Cabaret because we didn't want to we wanted to do chorus line stuff, you know, like different jazz hands, you know, like other stuff where it doesn't require you taking off your clothes. We didn't want to pigeonhole ourselves into that one thing. Also, we were the first burlesque troupe to pop up in the islands in probably very long time, since back in the day. So we like to call it a burlesque renaissance, as it were. Megan Mayhem actually founded the troupe with Lola Love in 2006. So basically Megan Mayhem put this Craigslist ad out. She's like, anybody on the island want to do burlesque? Because it's already been big on the mainland by that point. It's been like about 15 years. Burlesque has already been huge on the mainland, but nobody had been doing it here. Megan just wanted to see it happen. So Lola Love was, you know, cruising on Craigslist looking for dance opportunities, and she saw that and she said, oh, yeah, I'm a samba dancer, so yeah, sure, that sounds fun. And they held auditions, and I saw the auditions and I was like, I had already just started with Iona. I'm like, I was working full time. I'm like, I only have time for one dance troupe, not two dance troupes. And, you know, a year passed, and my friend Miss Fortune, who I'd known for a long time, she said, well, hey, you know, Lola Love really needs a ballerina. So I was classically trained in ballet since I was a little kid. She was just like, yeah, we need a ballerina for this number. You don't have to take off your clothes or anything. Just have to wear a cute little tutu and stuff. You'd be a doll. And I'm like, okay, that sounds fun. So we did this number called Mishto, and it was based off this Go-Go Bordello song, and it was a puppet master and 3 dolls. And we basically are dolls and he controls us, but at the end we end up putting him in a big box, like a Jill in the Box box. And it was really fun. And I'm like, wow, this is fun. I'm going to do more. And I was obsessed with musicals as a little kid, and I loved Guys and Dolls. So I said, well, you know, maybe I could do, you know, that one song that Miss Adelaide sings.
What song?
Take Back Your Mink.
Oh.
Yeah, so I did that routine at a show. We called it the Bethel Street Bailout Review, and it was in 2008 with the Laugh Track Theater, and it was an awesome show. It was really, you know, it had the economy tanked, and we were just kind of doing a vaudevillian sort of feel with it, with the burlesque and the improv comedy. And I barely took off anything. It was just, I had like kind of like full, I was like a little shirt and little thing with garters. So I was covered. But then, as I kept on creating more and more routines, more and more things came off.
Yeah, I saw one of your shows.
Yeah.
And it was really wonderful. It was a lot of fun, and it's not, there's nothing seedy about it at all. It's beautiful, and you certainly see as much flesh at the beach.
Right, exactly.
As you do. And if you've spent any time around dancers, you know, that's the body's your instrument. So dancers are accustomed to walking around in little
things.
You know,
Yes.
It was really fun. It was really fun to be a part of the audience, to be a part of the audience reaction, and everybody is, you know, we're wolf whistling and, you know, the
we actually
whooping, but we're cheering you on.
We
It's
encourage our audience to. At the beginning of every
Yeah.
show, we're like, feel free to hoot and holler and make noise, because the more noise you make, the more fun we're having.
Yeah, and it feels like we're cheering you on.
Yeah.
But if we could, Ian, go to some of those images that we've got. Okay, so this is
from the Noe Ensemble. So this is for one of the piece that we're going to be doing for the Fringe Festival. So that's the choreography from that.
And is this in the house that you're talking
Yes,
about?
and this is actually in the Art Zone space. They did a preview performance for the owner. And this is actually a video still of...
they don't have that yet.
Oh,
You gotta wait till it moves to the right. you can keep talking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so that's a video still of me dancing on a bench. Last time I was somewhere in Maui. Laura and I were like playing around with some video. We're like, yeah, we'll put this behind us and then we'll dance with ourselves in the video. So this is kind of one of the video stills from that.
It is really beautiful.
Wait
a minute.
Sorry.
You're such a visual person.
I am.
I
really am.
But the one on the bench, it is beautiful on its own. It's beautiful as a still.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting art form when you think about the fact that the movement is beautiful in its still form. You know. Okay, so the one that we've got up there now. Now you stay on this one until I tell you. Okay. This is the fellow in the sunset.
Yes. So this is Laura and I were just up on Maui, and we were dancing up in Haleakala while the sun was rising. So that's some more footage that I'll be using in the show.
Oh, so these will be incorporated.
Yeah, so these are stills from the video that I have that I will be incorporating in our Fringe show.
Well, and they are inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just doing some Buto movement with our environment, so we're going to be taking our improvisational movement from our improvisational movement and creating some sort of weird dance paradox.
Okay, interesting. All right, we can go to the next one. This is some of your design work.
Yes, so this is an event that I'm having this weekend at 39 Hotel. I also do a live drawing event with my friend Ella Flaunt. It's called Dr. Sketchy's Honolulu. It's a global organization started by Molly Crabapple in New York City, and it's a live drawing event. So we have costumed models come in different themes, and people come to draw them. And it doesn't matter if you know how to draw or not.
Oh, so anyone can bring a sketch pad.
Yeah, and we will have some supplies available as well for donation, if you don't have anything.
Oh, that's very cool. 39 Hotels Saturday, did you say?
Yeah, this Saturday. It starts at, doors open at 9, and the event's from 10 to midnight.
And that'll be the 24th. Right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
this Saturday, the 24th.
Is this part of the same event?
And that's actually from our last Dr. Sketchy's event. That's me drawing. I like to draw on the floor because that's just the way that I was trained by Linda Dorn. She likes to draw on the floor, and so you can put all the energy into the paper, and there's nothing like prohibiting you. I like to work in pastels and charcoal and whatever else I have lying around.
There's a video that I saw of you do painting the Tree of Life.
Yes.
Yeah, which is very cool. You did not stop animation. What do you speeded it up? You did the opposite.
Yeah.
You de-animated yourself.
Yeah, I de-animated myself. Yeah, that was a mural I did at the space that is now called The Creative in Chinatown. That was probably about 2 years ago now. It's been painted over several times, so I figured, you know, when I was painting it, knowing that it was going to be painted over, that I should document the process.
That was your way of holding on to it.
Yeah.
And this is the,
This is the promotional photo for the Iona Contemporary Dance Theater. So that's me in the little pillbox hat that goes like this. And that's actually Becky down there, who's on the floor with the 2 phones up against her head, who did, she directed Coin Operated Boy and Other Tales.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And she's now in New York City, so she was really, really inspirational. And Nathaniel is in the center with the mohawk, and Rose has a feather, and Summer is down at the bottom. She's been with the company the longest, and she's an amazing, inspiring performer.
So this is an advert that you put together for the show?
Yes, this is an advert we put together for our e-season. So we happened to be in this, we were doing Butoh movement while the photo shoot was happening.
Oh.
So, you know, we'd find some poses and find a different pose and find
Just
a different
hold
pose.
on
And
to
what
it.
I thought was interesting, and my cousin Sophia was actually pointing out to me, she's like, it's like a perfect X.
Yeah, it
And
looks posed. It
yeah,
looks like
it looks
was,
posed, but we just kind of, we were slightly posed, but then we kind of found this dynamic that just kind of worked. When we were flipping through the photos, we went, oh, Cheryl, that one! That one! And that's the one that she liked the best. Darren Miller actually took the photo. He's a really great photographer.
We've got some more. We'll go through this one. This one lists. This is where some of this can be found about you. But,
Yeah, so if you want to find out, you know, follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or Vine. It's just at Mishi Moody, which is my Mishi Moody Productions company.
and you can find, you have all kinds of videos on Vimeo.
Yes, so it's at vimeo.com/Mishi Moody.
That's where you can go and see you doing the Tree of Life.
Yes.
As well as others.
Yes.
Okay, and then the next one that we've got, what is the Mab Web? What is this?
Yeah, Mab's Web is just it's a kind of a little portfolio blog of just stuff that I've been keeping over the years, kind of like my attic.
Okay. And the next one we got is this. Are you one of these?
Yes, actually, I'm the redhead. This from the Cherry Blossom Cabaret. That's myself and La Femme Rikita. So I go by Mabsy when I perform with the Cherry Blossom Cabaret. And we were in this show directed by Miss Fortune a couple years ago in 2011. And it's called Carnal Carnival, and it was about a devil and an angel and a circus and a sideshow. So the angel ran the circus and the devil ran the sideshow. And we had this fight over a soul, whether she would decide the circus or the sideshow.
How awesome.
Yeah, it was a
Sounds
great show.
wonderful.
I really hope that we reprise it in the coming years.
Yeah.
Miss Fortune is, she has, like over 25 years in theater experience. I know that you know her outside of Cherry Blossom Cabaret, perhaps. She goes by at least, I don't know if she'd be okay with me saying her real name.
Oh, maybe we shouldn't say.
Yeah, but you know, I'll tell you off camera.
I don't recognize her in the photo.
Oh, well, actually, she's not in the a
Oh,
yeah, she directed the play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell me.
It was a very fine work of art. We had an original script, original music composed by Art Koshi, and Ree Herman, our very good friend of Cherry Blossom, wrote the script based off of all of our personalities. He kind of sculpted the characters based off of the routines we wanted to do. And basically how we do our variety shows is usually we'll say, oh, I really am inspired by, we'll pick a theme, like this was circus, sideshow, and we would say, oh, I'm really inspired by doing this sort of routine. Like Lola Love really wanted to walk on stilts. She's just like, I just want to do a stilt number where I'm a flamingo. And Ree artfully wrote that into the script so that it made sense that she was coming on stage and performing as a flamingo.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The creative work that you're involved in is very inspiring. This is a photo of you in what?
Oh, this is actually kind of related, loosely related to Dr. Sketchy's that's happening this weekend. Because this is when I competed in the 2010 Miss Vamp Honolulu.
Oh, who knew there was such a thing?
Yeah, there is such a thing. There's she actually has a reality show now called Miss Vamp Hawaii on K5, and it's all based off of these girls who are competing for this anti-beauty contest, which is Miss Vamp Hawaii. So it's all these girls that dress up like vampires. Yeah, and I just
vampires.
Yeah,
not vamp.
Yeah, vampires.
I was thinking that.
Oh yeah,
vamp, tramp.
Oh,
you know, share song. Okay, this one's adorable. This is on Vimeo. This dance.
Yeah, this dance is on Vimeo, or it's actually on YouTube. It's from the 2011 Hawaii Burlesque Festival that's put on by my friend Violetta Barretta, who's also a dancer with the Cherry Blossom Cabaret. She started the Burlesque Festival because she wanted to have just an outlet for performers to come from wherever to just perform burlesque in Hawaii. And I did this number called Bunny Wunny, and because I just love bunnies, and I have these rabbit ears from a previous show that we did called Alice in Chinatown. So I was like, well, I created this routine that I was a ballerina bunny.
A ballerina bunny who takes off her clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's this from?
This is actually a photo by my very good friend Cece Marks of Cece Marks Photography, and the bikini actually is a hand-painted bikini. It's made by Kaikini Bikinis, and my mother Lupita Poppler painted on it like these little seashells. So her website's just Lupita Designs.
Got a little plug for Mom.
Yeah, plug for Mom. But yeah, I photoshopped some nebulous stuff on it because I thought it looked pretty, and
very cool.
It's just like some modeling stuff that I've been finding myself doing because my friends were like, "Hey, you want to go take some photos?" And I'm like, "Okay, sounds fun." And this underwater photography that Cece has been working on she's been coming up with some really beautiful work, and we're looking to do some more of it soon, just because it's fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And we have, I think this is the
this is a recent photo shoot I did with Kaveh Cardin of Cardin Photography. He was just back in town for the summer. He works in New Zealand doing computer graphics. He used to teach at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. And he said, "Oh, hey, Michelle, you want to come do a photo shoot?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I have these kimonos and a corset." And he's like, "Cool, okay, wear that." And then he shot this beautiful photo that I really just,
it's beautiful.
I was like, wow, okay, cool. Like, I look pretty. I mean, I'll give you that photo.
And what's this? We have another one.
This is an Iona costume that was debuted at a couple of fundraisers ago. We do an annual fundraising gala every year at the Sheraton in Waikiki, right by that pool with the water slide and everything. So it's, the tickets are generally pretty expensive, but it's kind of like how Iona raises the money to do their theatrical productions every year.
The tickets are well worth the price, I'm sure,
are,
to support this amazing artistic expression.
Because you get a full immersed experience of the dancers. You'll have a dancer on each table. There's a dancer assigned to each table, so they will pay attention to you all nights. And then there's food and wine pairings and just decadent meal that the Sheraton so generously provides, and then just the atmosphere and the music. And this theme is called, this year is going to be the Orient Express.
Oh,
so you're going to be traveling from Paris to Istanbul. And this was a midnight butterfly costume.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
With the
12-foot long wings.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is this a graphic that you did?
Actually, this is just information about Noe, Hawaii.
Okay.
So it's just a little plug for Noe, Hawaii, Chandra.
You know, and I just want to say another thing about fundraisers, that we all work very hard to make sure that our fundraisers are a really wonderful experience for the guest, but also we must never forget that we are giving those guests the opportunity to ensure that the work we do is done. And there is value just in, there's so much value just in that. It's an integral part of our lives too.
Yeah.
Our healthy lives, to be able to experience this art, and there's such a wealth of it on this island that not only am I very grateful as a transplant here to be around all of the natural beauty that is here, but I don't want to call it unnatural beauty, but the created beauty that comes from the artists of every ilk on the island. And I'm saying that also, I don't want, while I'm on the subject, I don't want to forget to say that if you go to oahufringe.com, they are in the process of a fundraising campaign.
Yes.
In Indiegogo, what's it called?
Indiegogo.
Indiegogo. So if you go to that website, you'll be able to click on it, and you can support for anything from $5. They have categories from anything from $5 up to $1,000, and even for a $5 donation, you get recognition up to passes for the entire weekend, and tote bags and t-shirts
so you
and
get
caps
swag.
and all of these things. And I'm going to donate. I haven't decided what, because I think I'm going to go for the $100 so I can get that pass.
Yeah.
So I can see all of the shows.
Yeah, that's worth it to get the pass to see all the shows.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a lot of fun shows.
It's worth it. It's worth it to make sure all of the shows happen. Too, you know,
Yes, exactly.
And make sure that they happen again next year. I've got to sign off. Is there anything else you'd like to
No,
say
just
real
thank
quick?
you so much for having me
Thank
on and for supporting Fringe and artists with this show. I'm really grateful.
Absolutely. I'm glad you came down. I'm happy to have met you. I'm glad Misa put us together, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on you. You're doing some really exciting things in so many different fronts. I'm glad to see you bringing them together.
Yeah, synergism is what we're working on.
Okay, we're out of time. I got to wrap it up. I got to say this stuff now. Thank you very much to Michelle Poppler for being here. Thank you for Misa for putting us together. Thanks to our production manager, Ian Davidson, our communications director, Chrissy Goffigan, and to Jay Fidel, who somehow puts it all together. Thanks to you, our listeners and watchers, for being with us on the Arts in Hawaii. To check out our previous broadcasts on YouTube, go to thinktechhawaii.com, and please like us on Facebook. We'll see you next week. Aloha.